the far reaches of space, the stars shimmered like scattered diamonds. Beyond the familiar territories of human space, a vast alien fleet drifted silently. Their ships were sleek, sharp, and perfect in design, each one a symbol of their advanced technology. On the largest ship, Commander Varlix observed the sensor readings with a mixture of curiosity and pride. "Captain," one of his officers said, pointing at a blip on the holographic display, "we are detecting an unidentified vessel. It is heading directly toward our sector." Varlix's many eyes narrowed. The ship was unlike anything in their records. It moved with precision, yet it lacked the elegance of their own designs. "Scan it," he commanded. "I want to know everything about it." Moments later, the alien sensors probed the human vessel. The results appeared on the display. The readings confused them. The ship looked primitive at first glance, made of metals they recognized but without the sophisticated energy flows they expected. Yet the ship emitted a strange energy signature, subtle but strong, like it held a heartbeat of its own. One officer frowned. "Commander, the ship's shields, they regenerate almost instantly. Our scans cannot fully penetrate them, and its crew seems organized in ways our AI cannot predict." Varlix leaned closer, intrigued. "It should not be possible. Primitive design, unremarkable weapons, yet it behaves intelligently. Prepare a closer scan. I want to see what makes these humans so different." On the human warship, the bridge was calm. Captain Sarah Donnell stood before the main display, her uniform tidy but practical. The crew moved with efficiency, yet there was a casual confidence in their motions, a trust in each other that came from years of training and shared experience. "Sensors detect an unknown fleet approaching," Lieutenant Harris said. "Looks like they want to observe us first." Captain Donnell smiled faintly. "Then let them watch. Keep shields at full, but no weapons yet. I want to know who we're dealing with before they know what we can do." The humans on board continued their work, monitoring the aliens' movements without fear. They had faced strange ships and unknown fleets before, yet something about this group felt different, intelligent, cautious, and proud. Back in the alien fleet, the scan continued. The aliens saw the human crew as tiny shapes moving inside the vessel. Their sensors detected heartbeats, brain activity, even minor movements that suggested thought patterns unlike any species they had studied. "Commander," an officer whispered, "the humans, they are synchronized, almost as if they can predict each other's actions before they happen. It is unsettling." Varlix's multiple eyes studied the display. "Yes, their ship may be simple in design, but the crew is extraordinary. Prepare a tactical analysis. I want to know if we can control or intimidate them." Meanwhile, aboard the human ship, Captain Donnell walked among her crew, observing their actions. She noticed a young officer, Cadet Lee, who seemed nervous at first but handled his station with careful attention. A sudden alert appeared on the main screen. A small alien probe was heading toward the ship. Cadet Lee froze. "Captain, a probe." Without a word, Donnell placed a hand on his shoulder. "Relax, we handle surprises all the time. Use the countermeasures, don't overthink it." The young cadet's fingers moved across the console, deploying energy pulses that met the probe mid-flight. It shuddered, spun, and drifted harmlessly away. The crew barely flinched, continuing their tasks with calm efficiency. In the alien fleet, tension grew. The probe was supposed to intimidate the humans, yet it had failed without causing any harm. The aliens could not understand it. The humans did not panic. They did not flee. Instead, they acted quickly, precisely, without fear. "This is impossible," one officer muttered. "They are reacting in ways no system could predict. Their tactics, they are improvising in real time." Varlix's eyes narrowed. "Improvising? Tell me exactly how." The officer pointed at the display showing the probe's destruction. "They used energy patterns that our models did not anticipate. Every defensive move they made adapted instantly to the situation. It is as if they think faster than our machines." Varlix leaned back. "Humans. I had heard of their courage, their will, but this is something else. Prepare a full observation. I want to see how they operate under pressure." Back on the human ship, the bridge was quiet. No one celebrated, they didn't need to. Their actions were instinctive, trained, and precise. Captain Donnell watched Cadet Lee regain his composure. "You did well," she said. "Keep your focus. This isn't over. They're still out there." Harris looked at the radar. They are scanning us continuously. I think they're trying to understand our technology. But every move they make, we've already adapted to it. Captain Donnell smiled. Exactly. Let them learn. Humans are at their best when faced with the unknown. The young cadet looked around, awe in his eyes. Captain, do you think they realize what they are facing? Donnell shook her head. They will soon enough. But for now we wait, and we watch. Humans have a way of surprising even the cleverest of species. In the alien fleet, Varlix felt a new sensation, unease. No alien before him had faced a species that reacted with such intelligence and calm under pressure. Their ships were not invincible, but their minds were unpredictable. Varlix turned to his officers. Prepare a report for the High Command. These humans are not just another species. Their potential, it terrifies me. The aliens continued to scan, observing the humans moving through their daily routines, maintaining their ship, communicating with precision and clarity. Each small action revealed intelligence, courage, and creativity. For the first time, the alien commanders realized that they might have underestimated humanity, not because of their technology, but because of their spirit. And far away, drifting silently among the stars, the human warship continued its journey, calm, confident, unaware of the fear it had already planted among the greatest minds of an alien fleet. The encounter had begun, but the real story, the story of ingenuity, courage, and human spirit was only just starting. The alien fleet hovered silently near the human warship. Commander Varlix watched the displays carefully. His officers were uneasy, whispering among themselves. Every move the humans made seemed unpredictable. Every tactic they used defied expectation. They are still calm, one officer said, shaking his head. Our scans show no fear, no hesitation. Varlix's many eyes focused on the ship. They are not like any species we have faced. Keep monitoring. I want to see how far their abilities go. Aboard the human warship, the bridge was quiet but alive with energy. Captain Donnell observed the approaching alien fleet through the main viewport. They're close, Lieutenant Harris noted. Their ships look ready to attack if we do anything. Donnell nodded. Let them come closer. Let them see us clearly. Humans are at their best when observed. We don't need to strike first. The crew continued their tasks with calm precision. Sensors monitored the alien fleet, scanning every ship, every movement, every energy signature. Even the youngest cadets were attentive, aware that this encounter could define humanity's reputation in this part of space. Suddenly, the alien fleet launched several small probes toward the human ship. They were fast, designed to intimidate and gather data. Cadet Lee, now steadier than before, reacted immediately. Captain, incoming probes! Donnell remained calm. Deploy defensive measures. Remember what we practiced. Energy pulses shot from the ship, intercepting the probes. One by one, the alien devices were neutralized without a single human leaving their station. The probes spun harmlessly out of control, drifting away into space. Harris let out a quiet laugh. They thought a few probes would scare us. They thought wrong, Donnell said softly, watching the crew. Humans are not afraid of the unknown. We adapt, we survive, and we learn quickly. Back in the alien fleet, Varlix's sensors replayed the incident. The probes had failed, and the humans had not just defended themselves. They had anticipated movements, adapted countermeasures, and neutralized the threat with unmatched efficiency. They are improvising, an officer said, disbelief in his voice. Our calculations are useless. Every strategy we create, they find a way to counter it. It is terrifying. Varlix remained silent for a moment. It is not the weapons that frighten me. It is their minds. Their ability to think, adapt, and act together in ways our models cannot predict. Prepare a full tactical analysis. I want to understand them, but I suspect we may not fully grasp what we face. On the human ship, Donnell watched as the alien probes drifted into space, harmless. She knew the aliens would be watching, analyzing, trying to find a weakness. But there was none, not yet. Humans had strength beyond technology. Their strength was in their courage, their ingenuity, and their unity. Captain, Harris said, they are observing us closely. I think they are trying to learn how we think, how we act. Donnell nodded. Good, let them. Humans are unpredictable. That is our advantage. We will not fight blindly, but we will not be controlled either. Cadet Lee glanced at her. Do you think they are afraid of us? Donnell smiled faintly. Perhaps. But fear is not our concern. Observation is. Every move we make teaches them something new. Every calm response shows them that humans cannot be measured easily. In the alien fleet, Commander Varlix's unease grew. He had led battles against countless species, each with technology far superior to humans, yet none had faced a species that combined creativity, adaptability, and courage in such a way. They think differently, one officer said. They are not predictable like others. They improvise in real time. Even their formation changes, every action is almost intuitive. Varlix's eyes focused on the display. Intuitive, yes, but also cooperative. Their minds work together in ways we cannot separate. One ship, one crew, acting as many, yet thinking as one. We cannot divide them. We cannot intimidate them. On the human ship, Captain Donnell walked past the crew, observing their work. She noticed that even under pressure, they remained composed. Every officer acted independently, but also in perfect harmony with the others. It was as if they anticipated each other's thoughts without words. They are trying to understand us, Donnell said quietly to herself, and they will never fully succeed. A sudden alert appeared on the main screen, a small alien drone attempting to gather data on the human ship's energy systems. Without hesitation, Cadet Lee and Lieutenant Harris redirected energy pulses, sending the drone spinning into space. Efficient, Donnell said. Precise, calm. Humans excel when faced with the unexpected. The young cadet looked proud yet modest. He understood the lesson. Courage was not loud or reckless. It was quiet, careful, and clever. Back in the alien fleet, Varlix made a decision. Prepare a report for High Command. These humans are not just another species. Their technology may be simple, but their minds are unpredictable. Their strategies cannot be calculated. Their reactions cannot be anticipated. They are remarkable. An officer shivered. Commander, what do we do if they fight us? Our ships, our weapons, our entire fleet may not be enough. They are terrifying. Varlix nodded slowly. It is not fear of weapons that troubles me. It is fear of potential. Humans are capable of adapting, learning, and surviving in ways we cannot predict. That is what terrifies me, and that is what we must respect. Meanwhile, aboard the human ship, Captain Donnell received a message from the aliens, a simple, silent scan of the ship's systems. They were trying to understand, to anticipate. She studied the display carefully. They are curious, she said to her crew. They want to know us. But humans are more than numbers, more than data. We cannot be fully understood. Not by machines, not by sensors, not by anyone who underestimates our spirit. The crew smiled quietly. They understood her meaning. The aliens may have advanced technology, but humans had something more. Ingenuity, courage, and unity. And that was far more powerful than anything a sensor could measure. As the human warship continued its journey, the alien fleet held its distance, watching, analyzing, and slowly growing uneasy. The humans moved calmly, efficiently, and confidently, unaware of the quiet fear they had planted in the minds of the galaxy's most advanced species. Commander Varlix stared at the display, a mix of respect and fear in his many eyes. Prepare for further observation, he said. These humans are unlike any species we have faced. They are dangerous not because of their weapons, but because of who they are. And we must never forget it. For the humans, life aboard the ship continued as normal. They repaired systems, monitored space, and prepared for the unknown. They did not fear the aliens. They did not rush to fight. They simply were human, adaptable, brave, and quietly unstoppable. And far across the void of space, the aliens realized that they were not just observing humans. They were witnessing the full potential of a species that refused to be measured or controlled. The revelation had begun. The humans had shown their true strength, and the galaxy would never look at them the same way again. The alien fleet drifted closer to the human warship, their sharp designs gleaming against the dark void of space. Commander Varlix studied the human ship with an intensity he had never felt before. Every move the humans made seemed deliberate, precise, and yet somehow unpredictable. They have observed us as much as we have observed them, Varlix said, his voice tight with unease. Every probe we send, every tactic we plan, they adapt instantly. It is unlike anything we have faced. His officers exchanged worried glances. They had fought countless species, each one predictable after analysis. But these humans were different. Not only did they act fast, they thought fast. They created strategies in the moment that no alien could calculate. On the human warship, Captain Sarah Donnell watched the alien fleet carefully. Her crew worked in silent harmony, each officer focused on their tasks yet aware of each other's actions. Their ship was ready, not because of overwhelming firepower, but because of preparation, ingenuity, and adaptability. Captain Lieutenant Harris said, pointing to the main screen, "They are repositioning their fleet. I think they plan to intimidate us or maybe force us to react first." Donald nodded. "Let them. Humans are at our best when facing the unknown. We don't strike blindly, but we will not be forced into mistakes either." The crew prepared defensive measures, arranged ship formations, and calibrated energy shields. There was no panic, only calm confidence. Every officer understood that the human advantage was not in weapons alone. It was in thought, teamwork, and courage. Varlix's sensors monitored the human ship's responses. Every adjustment, every calculation, every defensive maneuver had a pattern, but not one they could fully anticipate. The humans did not merely react, they improvised. They are creating strategies in real time. An officer said, his voice trembling. "Every action we anticipate is already countered. It is as if they know what we will do before we do it." Varlix's many eyes focused sharply on the display. "It is not their weapons that threaten us," he admitted. "It is their minds and their will. We cannot predict them. We cannot intimidate them. They are terrifying." The human ship made a subtle move, repositioning itself slightly in the void. The aliens noticed, trying to calculate the meaning. But the humans were not signaling aggression. They were testing, observing, learning. Every motion was deliberate yet subtle, a demonstration of strategy without unnecessary force. Cadet Lee, now fully confident, watched the monitors. "Captain," he said, "they are waiting for us to make a move." Donald smiled faintly. "Yes, but humans are not controlled by fear or pressure. We act when we must, not when we are pushed. Watch and learn. Every human action teaches a lesson, even without words." The young cadet nodded, understanding the lesson. Courage was quiet. Strength was intelligence. And humans had both in abundance. Varlix and his officers attempted to formulate a preemptive strike. Dozens of strategies ran through their advanced computers. Yet every calculation failed. The humans adapted before a single move could be completed. Defensive energy fields shifted, countermeasures deployed, and the ship's minor maneuvers left alien projections inaccurate at every turn. "Impossible," an officer exclaimed. "No species has ever adapted this quickly. No mind has ever reacted this way." Varlix's gaze was steady but intense. "It is not impossible. It is human, and that is why we must respect them." Aboard the human ship, Captain Donnell made a small adjustment in formation. Not aggressive, not defensive, but exploratory. The crew followed silently without hesitation. Every officer understood instinctively what was needed. The aliens responded with a more forceful probe, attempting to intimidate the humans. But before the probe reached its target, Cadet Lee deployed a minor countermeasure, sending it spinning harmlessly into space. The aliens could only watch in disbelief. They are controlling our probes without even firing weapons," one alien officer whispered. "Our technology is useless against them. They are not merely defending. They are teaching us that our assumptions are wrong." Varlix's eyes narrowed. "Yes, that is the truth. Humans are not defined by their ships, their weapons, or their numbers. They are defined by their courage, their intelligence, and their unity. That is what terrifies us. Not power, but potential." On the human ship, Donald looked at the alien fleet calmly. "We don't need to prove strength through destruction," she said softly to Harris. "We prove it by being unafraid, by being adaptable, and by showing that we will not be controlled." The crew moved seamlessly, adjusting shields, monitoring alien movements, and preparing for any contingency. Their confidence was quiet but unshakable. Every move demonstrated a principle older than technology itself. Humans were clever, brave, and resourceful. Varlix called for a full assessment. "We must report this," he said. "These humans are unlike any species in known space. Their minds are quick, their reactions unpredictable, their courage undeniable. They are a threat we cannot measure." An officer shivered. "Commander, what if they attack? Our fleet, our weapons may not suffice. They are more dangerous than we imagined." Varlix nodded. "It is not fear of attack that concerns me. It is fear of underestimating them. They have proven their intelligence, their ingenuity, and their unity. They will survive because they can adapt, and that is the greatest weapon of all. The alien fleet retreated slightly, observing from a distance. They had learned their lesson. Humans were not just another species. They were unpredictable, intelligent, and courageous in ways that could not be fully understood. Meanwhile, the human warship continued its journey, calm and steady. Captain Donnell watched the stars outside, thinking of the lessons her crew had already taught the aliens without firing a single shot. Cadet Lee looked around the bridge. "Captain, do you think they will ever understand us?" Donnell shook her head, smiling. "Not fully. Humans cannot be measured or predicted easily. But that is our strength. We act with intelligence, with courage, and with unity, and that is what makes us unstoppable." The crew continued their work, confident and calm. Their ship glided through the stars, not as an instrument of fear, but as a symbol of what humanity could achieve. And far across the void of space, the aliens realized a truth that would stay with them forever. They were not afraid of the humans' weapons. They were afraid of what humans represented, the limitless potential of courage, intelligence, and ingenuity combined. The humans had not fired a shot. They had not attacked. Yet they had already left their mark on the galaxy, and the galaxy would never underestimate humanity again.